Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the Money Stop. Oh boy, we got a lot to talk about today. First, we'll get to Richmond, um, and then we'll deep dive into some silly season stuff and talk some COTA. Um, but welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you once again, Laner. I can't believe this is episode 7. Um, it's crazy that we've already done 7 episodes. Um, I know that we were supposed to talk about Richmond, but for a second, I think we just need to acknowledge, that we've done 7 episodes already of this, and it's
Yeah.
it's only been 3 races now, um, but we've had a lot to talk about. Every single episode has been packed, and there's been so much to talk about. So just really a great show, and glad that we have this platform to talk about some row muscle stuff. But yeah, welcome in everybody. Welcome in. I'm seeing the views go up, seeing everybody trickle in. So let's get started here. We are gonna deep dive into Richmond and all things Richmond. The truck and cup race were both held on Saturday. It was a true doubleheader. The truck race was held about midday, and then the cup race followed right after. Um, I don't know. I don't know how much people saw it coming, but I won both races. I'm not gonna really get into the win that much because um, I kind of already laid it out in my post race interview, but just really proud of the team. Did a great job all night in both races, and just great pit stops, great execution on the strategy, and there was points where we didn't think it would work out, and it worked out in the end. So just we really held on, and it worked out in our favor after, which was really nice. So um, yeah, extremely proud though, and just proud to be a part of SSR and this amazing organization. Later, I don't know if you have anything else to add just on SSR as a whole, keeping the winning streak going.
Um, I think that was probably our best race overall as an organization so far. That's not even controversial. I mean, it actually was. We finished 1 through 4, and our cars had speed all night um, throughout the whole race. Obviously, it really never seemed like you were gonna lose the race, but it was always a fight, second through fourth, between me, Icy, and Slater kind of came on late. It seems like he wasn't really running up front,
Hmm.
but me and Icy were running in the top 3 to 5 all night, along with you. Slater came on late and got the 1 through 4 finish with us, but I wouldn't say that he really had like top 3 speed all night. But regardless, it was a really strong showing from the whole team. I'm really proud of the effort.
Yeah, I think, and I didn't even realize that we went 1, 2, 3, 4 until after the race in Victory Lane. That was it was really surprising to me. I wasn't even really paying attention to the movements there in the final laps, but um, yeah, just I we've been doing a great job all season long. So just very very uh, proud of the guys back at the shop that put all the cars together, and for keeping us fast, and keeping us up front. It is really really a blessing to drive these cars. But yeah, enough of that. Let's dive into Richmond itself. We'll get into the truck race first. Um, so let's see. I'll put up so people in the stream can see just some highlights, I guess, or I'll have the stream going from the truck race so people can see if they'd like. Um, let's see. There we go. Okay. So anybody that's watching the stream, you can just watch a replay of the truck race, I guess. But Um, there was a lot that happened in that race. I mean, I would say that that race was fairly cleaner than the Cup race, but I guess a part of it too um, was that we had fewer cars and it got strung out faster. Um, I would say like more at the start and like more on restarts, it was very, very exciting because it was like uh, we didn't really spin out. Like it was more so just more contact, and the racing was fun. So I certainly enjoyed it, and I hope to run more truck races this season. Because Richmond was definitely a good place for my first truck race. Not only for winning, just racing. I feel like it was good for us. So, uh, yeah, Laner, I know you guys retired the car early, but you can dive into more about your experience in the truck race and kind of up until it died out.
Yeah, we had an engine failure, which was very unfortunate. I felt like we had a decent run going, but it just wasn't meant to be. Um, in terms of the racing, I feel like the trucks are a lot more stable. Like you can kind of bang into people without wrecking them. So like you said, it was really perfect for a short track like Richmond. Um, I don't really remember enough of the race to really talk about it too much, but the racing was good from what I saw, and I think Richmond put on a really good show with the trucks.
Yeah, and I would say that um like there wasn't really a clear favorite in the race either. I feel like there was a good mix of guys up there and um the 44 truck I think did a really good job too. He really impressed me because we talked about it that he didn't even practice. He just laid down qualifying laps and raced, and had a really impressive showing. Um, and Richmond's not easy to get around, so compared to other tracks, so he did a really good job. But um, yeah, I would say for a fairly strung out race, it was still pretty fun, and I still had a good time. But let's see. Do we have the final results anywhere? I can't remember the full list. Um,
For for trucks,
yeah,
yeah, I
I think they're in our one of our group chats somewhere. But
okay, so you finished first. Who was in the two truck? Did Slater race?
I don't think Slater raced. Um, I don't know because uh, Time streamed the race and it was focused on one driver the entire time. So I can't really tell you. But um, yeah, I don't know if there was a two truck
Okay.
in the race, but
Okay, never mind. That was Cup. You finished first. The 44 was second. Roman was third. The 5 truck was fourth. 51 fifth. 18 sixth, and 12, which was me, seventh. Who was in the 44?
I think it was the sub. I think it was the sub. Yeah, but um, yeah, I think he still had a pretty impressive run. I don't know. They're like freaking out in the chat right now, but
I guess it was Cobra.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
forgot his name,
impressive
but
for like his first ever race. It's really impressive.
yeah. And it sucks for Kragus too because Kragus I feel like had winning speed, and he had um any truck or any cup car that is prepared and brought to the track is going to be fast. Um, but apparently something broke on the truck at some point during the race. About what is it, like about halfway through the race or just over halfway. So it sucks that, it didn't work out for him, but he had a fast truck, but I think the guys to beat were really myself and Aiden. Um Myself and Aiden were really the only people that I felt like could run up there and contend for the win. And I think had the strategy played right, um, he probably would have put himself in a better spot just position wise. I don't really know what happened at the end with all the pit stops, honestly. I don't really know why anybody pitted because with everybody being so strung out like that, there was probably no chance of getting a caution. So I don't really understand the last ditch effort, but I mean, it's not like most of those guys were running for points anyway, so it didn't really matter. But still, it made me scratch my head a little bit. I can't lie. And yeah, but I would say so far 3 races in, I say the truck races put on a great showing.
I agree, and I think we should try to showcase the trucks more because the racing is pretty good down there. Just I don't know. I don't really pay attention to the races in depth a lot, but I guess we should start doing that because it is really interesting. The trucks do put on a good show.
Yeah, and I have the end of the race up on the stream right now. The only thing that I was aggravated about was this damn 18 car. I don't know what the hell the guy was doing. Um, he didn't really he didn't cost me the win, but I mean it was more so race control. I don't understand where race control was in that case. He should have been blue flagged. Um, but I mean, when nobody's paying attention, everybody loses. So um, yeah, I don't know. Just a sad case, but I mean, I know that he is still a newer driver, so I will give him the benefit of the doubt. And I know that, he's trying his best too, but still I was still a little disappointed of how hard he raced me considering he had way fresher tires and still couldn't pull away from me. Um, but yeah. Um, do you have any final thoughts though
No, I didn't
about
have
the truck
anything
race?
else.
Okay. All right. Well, let's dive into the cup race then. Um, the cup race was very eventful. Lots of beating and banging, and we had like a full field. Nothing compared to the last time we were here. Last time, I think we only had like 6 or 7 cars.
7, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
and this time we had 9. Um, so we pretty much had a full field, but it was still pretty eventful. And there were a lot of different strategies going on. Just for kind of the first bump in the road there for a lot of drivers and teams was that first caution on lap 11, um, which I don't know who brought it out, but let's find out in a second. Oh my, yeah, this was the flip. So we'll talk about this for a second.
I didn't.
So
Somebody flipped.
yeah, so I have it up on the stream. Um, can I slow it
Oh
down?
my god. I never even saw that. Who was that?
I think I can slow it down.
Oh,
There we go. It's when
I think it was
Wendigo.
Wendigo.
Yeah. So Aiden
Oh
comes
my
up.
gosh.
Lego is up in the third lane, the highest lane. Comes up into well, he has to check up. He gets up into the wall and then ends up turning Wendigo. Here comes Slater, and Slater turns him, and he goes up on his side. So
Yeah, that's a bad hit.
yeah, so that brings out the first caution of the night, and that kind of it kind of threw a wrench into everybody's strategy. I feel like because we got a caution so early, and uh, a few of us stayed out, but most of the guys pitted And I feel like that was really the first chance to see the difference in tires after that. It was only 11 lap pressure tires, but man, like you could really
Yeah.
notice the difference. And I will be honest with you right now. I think that was a bad call for us.
Mhm.
I mean, it wasn't like we made the worst decision, but I think maybe coming down pit road for tires would have been a smarter decision. Like right here when me and you and Craigus stayed out. I think, it was a better decision for us to probably just come in, because we got
Yeah.
we got 8 up on that restart. We lost positions left and right, and it really just showed how much of a difference in tires there is at Richmond, which I mean, I kind of enjoyed because that way, it allowed some other people to run up front, um, like Land led some laps, and he was really, really proud of himself for that, which I'm proud of him too because he had a shitty run last time we were here, and um, you know, he just wasn't happy with himself. So, still proud of him for doing that. But yeah, and then like on the restart here too, I guess we can cover it from a different angle. Like Craigus on older tires got mixed up, and it was wild. The restart there was wild. But from there, it kind of shaped the rest of the race, I feel like. And for our team, I think the main goal was just trying to stay in the cleanest air possible. It was a struggle for us on older tires. So I feel like um, just having the newest tires after that restart was like going to be key. Um, and yeah, but I will say the one thing I did like about the race was that, yeah, we had cautions and most of the time everybody pitted, but it was that last pit stop that it came down to that decided the race, which kind of threw some strategy into it because everybody came down on different laps and everybody was running different strategies and um, people wanted to decide, on what lap they had the fresher tires on. So I still think that strategy definitely played into it, and it was a good race. I mean, we were 4 wide for the lead here too. So I mean, yeah, just a great job all around. Later, I'll let you get into some of your thoughts though, following the cup race, because you ran the full thing, so you can kind of give your feedback just of the racing.
Yeah, I remember after that caution that me and you were talking, and we both thought that it was like the right decision to stay out, and everybody else came down pit road. And I think a few laps after that, we both realized that that was not the right decision. But I am glad that we kind of learned that lesson early in the race, um, because I didn't make that mistake again. Every time there was a caution, I was coming down pit road. I did not stay out again the whole race because even just like 1 or 2 lap fresher tires made a big difference. Um, so yeah, we kind of didn't make the right call there, but it was early in the race, so it didn't really matter that much. And I don't remember if there was another caution to kind of bail us out after that, or if we just had to run out to the stage. I don't remember, but
There was definitely another caution because we didn't. There was a point. I don't like. I don't think the race didn't run all the way green until the final stage, until the end. So there was a caution, I think, where it helped us kind of split it in half in a way. But yeah,
yeah. But yeah, the final stage was really interesting. Um, there was a lot of different strategy there, and I think that's kind of what played a part into our team finishing 1 through 4. Is we kind of just made the right calls. I think if I remember right, Craigus was the first one to come down pit road, and I think that really backfired on him.
yeah, it
Um,
did. It did.
I don't think Richmond is really a track where you can um, pit early. If anything, you want to pit late which is the call that me and Icy made. I think we pitted maybe 2 laps after you. Um, and I was gonna pit on the same lap as Icy, but once your tires get worn out, it's really difficult to make pit entry. So I missed pit road, and then I had to go do another lap.
Hmm.
And so I had the freshest tires out of anybody on the final stretch, and I was really cutting into your lead a lot. I just didn't have enough time to really do anything. And even me and Icy kind of merged out together, and even just 1 lap fresher tires than him, like I was like so much faster, which was kind of insane.
Here's what I'll say too. I remember like thinking around like lap 110 when we were coming up on pit stops. Um, I was thinking, I was like, what is the the lap for coming in on the final stop? If this is the final stop, what would be the lap to come in? And I was thinking, like, usually you can get around here and survive on somewhat decent tires for about 30, 40 laps. So I think like my mark was like lap 140 to come in. And I remember just thinking, I was like, please, no caution leading up to this. And it didn't come out surprisingly. I thought it was going to. I thought we were gonna have a little bit of a mix up, but um yeah, we didn't get a caution, and we came in. Yeah, you guys came in after, which I thought, you know, I don't even know why we were out there that long. I probably should have came in like a couple laps earlier, but I feel like, we made the right call coming in at the lap that we did, because I feel like at this track you just have to try and get the tires to last as long as you can. And my tires were worn at the end, but like they weren't as bad as it was, for example, like in the beginning, um, when we had that long run before the caution that kind of split the first stage in half. Like my tires were done, like they were cooked. So,
Yeah.
um, like that stage I really struggled. And also I feel like at the end there, um, I don't. It was more so just trying not to lap Aiden. Like I think if I lapped Aiden, then you guys wouldn't have cut like 4 seconds off. I was just trying to be nice because there was really no need to pass him since I had such a big lead. Um, and I knew you guys wouldn't catch me because I tried to do the math in my head, but I I knew you guys probably wouldn't catch me in time just with the laps that were remaining. So I figured it was probably just safer to back off and let him keep his lap just for not causing a caution, because he was being very aggressive too, which understandably so. His team would like to stay on the lead lap finishing a race. So, yeah, I can't blame them at all. But um, yeah, I would say I thoroughly enjoyed the race. Win aside, like I really enjoy that there was passing in both races, and that there was crashes. I mean, we had a guy up on his side, which was not eventful, but um,
Yeah.
I would say that it was still very, very fun to watch. Now looking back on it, like stream wise, and I can't wait to be back here next time. I hope this track will stay on the schedule. I'm surprised, and we can talk about this for a minute too. I'm surprised with the kind of lack of interest in this track. After the race, it just didn't seem like there was much uh, interest in coming back here, which I don't understand
Yeah.
why, because this is one of the few tracks that RoMuscle has on the schedule that requires strategy and rhythm and just hitting your marks. And like running at 200 miles an hour every week, or, like running in a pack is fun, but I like being able to kind of split that up every now and then with a race that, you know, requires you to actually um, be on your toes and, just be mindful. of the strategy and everything else coming into it. And there was like the restarts were so exciting because there was so much going on. There was so much passing, and um, like I have it up on the screen here. I think this is the run to the end of the stage. I think, yeah, but you can just see how much passing there is. I mean, and there's so much opportunity here. I think to have a good race, and but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the race. I don't know about you, later, but I know I did.
Uh, yeah, and I'm on the same page as you. I really would love to see Richmond back on the schedule. Um, I mean, if we're not at Richmond, then we're just going to be at another larger oval that's just going to be drafting and bumper to bumper. And that's what we do every single week. I mean, like we're always at tracks where we're bump drafting and wrecking. And it's kind of nice to go to a track like this and kind of take a break from all of that, and actually have strategy play into it. Um, I mean, it's only one race out of the season, and we still have plenty of other tracks. So I feel like people should just learn to appreciate this type of racing, maybe one time a season. But that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I got idle again and had to fix my camera, and then when I went to sit in the seat, the camera broke. So I am now in cinematic mode, trying to keep the camera where it is and hope I don't uh, idle out again. But anywho, oh man. But yeah, I will agree with what you said. Um, I hope that this schedule will allow Richmond to keep a race. Because I really do like the racing here. Or even if like a new Richmond is made or updated somehow, and because I know that there is different versions of Richmond, and this is a little older, but I know that there is other versions out there. I think if
Yeah.
another version got added, I wonder how people would feel about that if a race was run on that configuration. I guess I don't know, but
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
yeah,
Or maybe I've seen people in the chat talking about Phoenix. That would be a fun track to try out with this new fuel and tire wear package. I feel like Phoenix might be, um, it could be similar. We might have some strategy play out there. So that's another track I would kind of like to see be on the schedule next season.
yeah, I agree. Um, I feel like our team has always performed really well at Phoenix, and I'm sad that there's no date for this season, but I know that if there is a date that'll be put on there anytime soon, that I know that a lot of people would have fun because it's just a fun racetrack, and um, I really enjoy it as a driver. But yeah, I think like I wonder if Richmond has the potential to be a championship or a playoff track. Do you think that it has the potential for that?
Richmond?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think there would be um, a lot of people not happy with that, but honestly, like that would be a really good championship venue with the strategy that would play out, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think I don't know. I just think it would be a good race to watch. Like I said, there's a lot of passing, a lot of opportunity to make up points. It's kind of a make or break track, I feel like. So, um, you'd have to earn it. That's for sure. You'd have to earn it. But I think this track may rank in a playoff or championship caliber kind of ranking if we started ranking tracks. But I don't know how people would feel about that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, people aren't too happy in the Discord chat, but hey, it's just an idea, just something you can kind of throw around, I guess. But um, yeah. All right, let's get off the topic of Richmond. I mean, unless you had anything else to add.
No, not really. I think we kind of covered everything.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna adjust the camera here too because I don't know why it looks like this now. Now I had to readjust it. There we go. So let's get into some silly season stuff. Um, I mean, we kind of touched on it in the last episode. There is some stuff going on at Rocky Top. We do know that Craigus is leaving GFM for a season and he is going to Rocky Top, and Rocky Top will be having a cup car. And we kind of touched on this, but I don't know. How do you feel about the whole ordeal?
Um, I mean, I still don't really know what to think about it. Um, um, I feel like that team's performance this season has really been underwhelming, and they will also be missing the race at COTA, so they're going to fall into a deeper hole. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I wonder if switching manufacturers is going to do much for that team. Um, because I really haven't seen much out of that team this season. So I don't know. I mean, Ford does have a lot of speed right now, but I don't know. I really don't. I'm just not super impressed with what I've seen from that team so far.
And let's look at the points real quick too, because I think this is definitely a conversation we need to have. This team is 4 points to the good, um, and it is race three going into race four. But this is not the Craigus we're used to seeing. So I don't know. Like, I'm not really sure what to make of it. It's definitely concerning. I wonder if the team is hitting the panic button yet. Um, but yeah, it's definitely concerning. I mean, they only have three top tens, a top five, no stage wins, no poles. So they have to start building momentum somewhere. And let's see, looking at the tracks coming up, I was not at COTA last season, so I can't really say how they performed based off of what I saw. But I will say, based off of what's coming up, Homestead and Darlington are definitely a good opportunity for them to make up some points. I feel like that team has run really well in the past at both of those races, and Darlington, he made it to the championship for last season, and I feel like all drivers led at some point. So, um, you know, every driver kind of found their way to the front in that race, and he definitely knows how to get around there now that he's logged some laps. But um, what would you say? Like, would you say this team needs to worry yet about winning, or are you just worried about their performance overall?
Um, well, right now they're minus. Well, okay, so they're above the cut line, but he won't be at the race this weekend, so he's gonna fall below the cut line. Um, I'm not. I don't think they're in a must-win situation. Uh, right? I don't know. I don't know because really, to me, it's gonna be a battle between Slater, Craigus, and Aiden for that final spot, and maybe throw Lego in there too. I would say Lego, Slater, Craigus, Aiden. Um, it's going to be a battle between that group of people, in my opinion. Um, and with Slater, I worry about attendance. With Lego, I worry about just speed and um, finishing races. It seems like even when Lego does have speed, they find ways to not get the finish that they deserve. So that's kind of concerning. With Craigus and Aiden, I'm not really that worried about Aiden's team. Aiden really has good speed in every race. Um, so I would really be worried if I was Slater and Craigus mostly. Slater just due to attendance, um, and Craigus just because he has not really showed speed at all this year.
And
Like
he's gonna
I cannot.
he'll be out for
um,
COTA too. So
Yeah. So he's gonna fall below the cut line, and like I cannot point to a race this season that I can say like that team has a car capable of winning. Week after week, it just seems like there's parts breaking on the car, or like I don't know. It's just like it's a different thing every week. And I know we're still early in the season, but like the All Star break is in like one or two races, so we're already getting halfway through the regular season. So like I'm gonna have to see something out of that team because like yeah, I would be worried if I was them. I really would be worried. Because
even if it's
Aiden,
not a
who's
win, I feel
behind
like
him,
just a good run.
yeah. But like it's really gonna be a battle. Like they're seriously are I think there are 9 people who are capable of making the playoffs, and we only have 8 spots. So I would definitely be worried. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I think something too. I don't think he got any stage points this past weekend. Um, if my memory serves me correct, I don't think he got anything. And that for me is a bit worrying too because um that team definitely okay, they finished 6th in stage 2, but um definitely that team has to find a way to grab some points because they cannot rely on the finishes to get them through. And the same conversation I feel like needs to start being had with people like Lego and guys like Wendigo and those guys that we are looking at to perform and they come up just short in those stages. But I mean, there's still plenty of races to make up points, but if you look at first, second, third, and fourth, right there, that's about a 20-point difference. And then from there, it just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. So the top four are kind of scooting away in the points, and then you have uh the gap from kind of fifth to 10th. I mean, Rondo's kind of he's out. I feel like you could almost take him out already, but
Yeah, that team's in a must win already.
yeah,
Like
well, not a must win, but I feel like if
I
um
I don't know because I've heard that he's on vacation right now. So like by the time he gets back, he's pretty much gonna be in a must win.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Um but yeah, the points gap there is, it's only going to get bigger. Um and I feel like, cuz Land is I would say the favorite along with Slater this weekend. Um they're definitely in prime position to earn some points. And if Slater shows up, you know, I would say the same thing for him as well. Um I'm looking at the chat. Yes, I see Wendigo has a stage win. But just because you have a stage win does not mean that you're consistently finishing in the points for stages. Like, you get what I mean? You get what I mean? Okay.
Yeah.
So, um, but it's just something to think about. Like, um, I don't know. Just something to think about. But we can move on kind of from that portion. Um, Looking at the next upcoming races, is there any guys that you're circling as favorites? I know that we said that Land and Slater are kind of favorites for COTA, but what about Homestead or Darlington? Or we can skip over the All Star race, but like Kansas and Iowa, I feel like we all know who's the favorite for Iowa, but
Yeah.
more so just maybe Homestead, Darlington, and Kansas.
Well, let me say this about Coda before we get off that topic. I think Land and Slater are the favorites, yes, but at the same time, it's such an unpredictable track, and road course racing is so unpredictable that I really don't know that anybody is the favorite because you could do a corner cut or hit a bump or something and take yourself out in a split second. Um, so yes, I do think Slater and Land will be the ones to beat, but they're gonna have to they're gonna have to execute at the same time. And a road course is really a race anybody could win. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of strategy. It's gonna be all over the place. So I really think any driver on these point standings could win at Coda, and I would not be surprised at all. You just have to play your cards right. For the intermediate tracks, um, I'm really encouraged by my team's speed. Honestly, after going to Atlanta with the new intermediate package, um, we went out and dominated that race. We just didn't win it, but we won both stages and we led the most laps. So I'm really excited to get my team to a track like Homestead or Kansas, just to see if the speed from Atlanta translates to those tracks. But um, other than that, I mean, I think you can kind of throw in the regular contenders like you, IC Land, Aiden, just the normal suspects.
Yeah. Um, I'm not really sure what to make of the next couple weeks because I feel like we talked about with Phoenix, I feel like the tires and the fuel can are going to play. I won't say can play, but they're certainly going to play into people's strategy. And I don't know. I'm just curious to see how people will approach each race. Each race is very different this season, and uh, I don't know. It just seems like every week there's a new surprise to pull out of the bag. So we'll definitely have to see how that plays out. I would like to um, make a comment, and I'll keep this very brief. But I would like to make a comment about how the race was first officiated and second broadcasted. Um, the only thing I'll say about the race being officiated is this. I think, and I kind of alluded to this in our group chat as well, with the other board of directors, that I think that there has to be a way that we plan this out before the race of who is going to officiate the race. It was put in suggestions, and I think it was put in by Land, and I certainly agree that there has to be people in place and plans in place for people overseeing the race because um, I'm not gonna cook Craigus again. I don't want him to think that I'm trying to uh, come for him or just come crazy at him. But I would like to say that okay, it was Wendigo, but um, or whoever it was. I don't know who put that suggestion, but whoever did, yeah, it needed to be pointed out. Um, Anyways, but I feel like it would make things a whole lot easier. And I've raced and officiated before. It is not an easy job, and I commend Craigus for doing that. Um, but it's not an easy job, and I think that he deserves a lot more credit, but he shouldn't have to do both. There should be somebody there to at least help out. And we have people like Time that can call the cautions or call the green or, whenever he sees a crash. Like, I don't know why Laner's calling a crash and he's trying to either avoid it or he's calling a caution and he's trying to avoid it or, find a way around it. There should just be people in place for officiating the race like that. So that's my only thought on that. And with the broadcast, I feel like we need to just shut down NASCAR on Fox. I'm sorry, but it needs to be shut down. Um, there is no physical way that you can convince me that this has been a great season for broadcasting. I'm sorry, but I will go on the air and say it right now that this season has been terrible. Um, for broadcasting. And I appreciate all that Time has done for broadcasting the races, but I will be very honest that just like there needs to be more attention paid to the races, I feel like. Like, why am I watching one car for over 100 laps? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There needs to be different angles. There needs to be more excitement. And like you know, I don't know I don't know what's going on there, but I feel like there just has to be um, more angles, more coverage on different drivers. Because more drivers, I feel like now are prioritizing having a good day. Like they're they're running up front. They want a top five. They want a good finish, and it's not really covered by the broadcast. So, um, yeah. But I would hope that there's some internal discussions about that being done because, um, yeah, I'm just a little disappointed with how the season has been portrayed to people watching the stream. Um, but yeah, I'll let you give your thoughts later. I don't know if you had any thing to add in addition to what I said, or if you had anything that I wasn't thinking of.
Yeah. Well, I've suggested this, and I feel like um, for the broadcast, we should have Time or whoever in a separate voice chat away from the drivers. Um, Especially just because, like at Richmond, it was lap 46, and the stage was supposed to end on lap 50. Now I'm sitting in the voice chat, and Aiden was leading the stage at the time. I was in second. We Time says like this is the white flag for the stage. Me and Aiden crossed the line, and we're still going, and nobody's calling it. So I'm like what's going on? Like so finally I call it because I'm under the assumption that the stage is ending. Um, so it's like it's I like if you're gonna commentate the race, you at least have to know like what laps the stages are ending on or like things like that. Um, because you're just gonna confuse the officials and like it's especially when we don't have a dedicated official and all of the officials are racing. So like we're not paying attention to the lap. Like I didn't know what lap number we were on. All I knew is somebody said the stage was over. So I'm like, okay, the stage must be over because I'm not paying attention to what lap we're on. So um if the broadcast does continue, definitely we need them in a separate voice chat where drivers cannot hear them. They can still broadcast the races and everything, and if drivers want to, they can rewatch the live stream later on, or they can't. It's up to them at that point. Um, and as far as officiating goes, I completely agree with you. Roman has helped out a lot with officiating sometimes, and there's no reason that Time can't at least be trained to just call greens or yellows. I mean, even just calling greens would be enough, honestly. Like that would be a huge help. We have people in place, we just need to utilize them. Um, if we don't utilize the people, like this league is only going to be as good as what we make it. And we have people in place, we just need to utilize them, because it, like you said, there's no reason that we should be driving and officiating. We have the people in place. We need to utilize these people better, and if we do, it's going to be such a better experience for everybody. Um, and it's honestly going to be a better experience for Craigus, because he's not going to be so stressed about driving and officiating and all of this stuff. He could just focus on driving, and that's it. Um, but just like you, I'm not trying to call anybody out. Like I seriously want what's best for this league, and I'm just speaking from that perspective. And I feel like there are things that we can do that will greatly make us reach the potential more than what we are. I feel like we haven't even started to reach the potential of what we could do, and it's really like these are very simple things that we can do. They're very easy things. We just need to reach out to people and train them a little bit. I mean, it's really not that hard. Whenever a car goes into the restart zone, you call the green. I mean, you see 2 or 3 cars wrecking, you call a yellow. Like these are really simple things that anybody could do. So it doesn't take that long. That's really all I have on that subject. Um, yeah, that's really all I have.
Yeah, and I something that popped into my head too when you were mentioning having um time or just the broadcasters in a separate booth or a separate VC. Um I think in addition to that, we need to have somebody who talks in the VC because I feel like if you're typing shit out, it takes so much longer to type stuff out than it is to just say it. Um, it communicates a lot faster, I feel like. And it doesn't even have to be Craigus, it could literally be anybody who's officiating the race. But why are we relying on the in game chat to make these decisions? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I feel like for me when I ran the league, I feel like a lot of people appreciated that VC kind of experience because it was a lot more efficient, and whenever somebody asked a question, it didn't get ignored or it didn't uh go unseen, you know what I mean? Like it was easier to just answer the questions over voice and everybody could kind of hear that. And I know that there's some people that use VC, but not everybody uses it, and I understand that. So, um, and that's perfectly fine too. I have no problem with that. But I feel like, at least for me, for being the most efficient and for getting it out as fast as possible during the race, um, you have to use VC. You have to speak. You have to speak up. I mean, and you can't rely on the in-game chat. It's not doable.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and it's not fair to everybody who waits for a answer to their question and they either don't get an answer or they have to wait to get an answer until somebody can type it out. You know what I mean?
yeah. I've always been the same way too. Like this weekend, I'm hosting the race. I plan on using voice chat to officiate. If you're driving and trying to officiate at the same time, I just feel like that's just the easiest thing to do. Like instead of having to type, you can literally just talk. I mean, if you see a wreck, like instead of having to type out the yellow, I mean, you still have to do that obviously, but like you can let people know immediately, like, hey, yellow flag. Um, you don't have to type it out. You get information in real time, and it's a lot easier to drive and officiate and manage the race in real time when you're talking to people in real time. Obviously, like you said, voice chat. Not everybody uses voice chat, so I'm not gonna call anybody out if they don't want to use voice chat. That's whatever. Um, I just feel like for people that do use voice chat, that is the most effective way to do it. And most of the racing leagues that I've been a part of that run smoothly also do that. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Um, I don't know either, but it's just a thought I had. That wasn't even on our list of things to talk about, but I feel like I just had to bring that up because um, it was a pressing topic, and it has been, I feel like, for a lot of people. So, um, yeah, but I am excited to get to COTA. I'll be away Friday and Saturday morning, so I'll miss the truck race, but I'm excited to get to COTA. What do you think we're going to see this weekend?
Um, I don't really know. It's kind of an unknown for me. I'm really kind of interested to see what the trucks do at COTA. That'll be the first road course race in the trucks. So, um,
It'll be the
and
first
for
road course
Cup,
race period for both of
yeah,
us this season. So,
yeah. I think we'll see a lot of strategy. Um, probably, I don't know that we'll see that many wrecks, honestly. I think it'll get pretty spread out, and we'll have green flag pit stops and a lot of strategy. So I'm not really expecting a lot of wrecks or anything like that. And I don't know if people have seen my announcements that I put out for the race this weekend, but I am going to not be calling a lot of cautions because lap times at COTA are literally 2 minutes. Um, so fingers crossed, the only cautions we have are the two stage breaks. Because I'm not really trying to do a 2 minute pace lap around COTA personally.
yeah. And it's going to be a lot with track limits and just keeping track of, who wrecks out here and who crashes here and, you know, there's going to be a lot going on, but I feel like it's going to get very spread out. Um, but there will be points where drivers can make up a lot of times because uh, I feel like a lot of people are going to make mistakes. It's kind of hard when this track is so big. Like you can't run the same lap twice. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
there's going to be a lot of times during the race where you will make mistakes and it's just going to happen. Like everybody's going to have that problem once. So, um
Yeah,
I feel like it'll be a good opportunity for those drivers that are maybe running consistent lap times um to pass, and it should be a good race. I'm looking forward to it.
I agree.
Before we head out, do you want to rate the race for Richmond and pick our winners for COTA?
Um, 1 through 10, right? Or are we doing like a percentage?
We'll do a percentage.
Okay. I would give Richmond probably like an 80%. Um, just because there really wasn't any competition for the lead at all. Um, but there was a lot of strategy, and there was quite a few passes and action towards the back of the field. So, other than you dominating the race, I felt like the strategy and everything was really appealing to me. So I would give it an 80%.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the same. I think the race was good. It certainly was not like the best. I don't think it'll be like the best race we will have this season, but um, I do definitely think it's up there, um, just because of the mix with strategy, like we said, and the restarts are very chaotic, and just there's a lot of passing and there's a lot of strategy that just plays into this track, which I like. So. Um, I can't even tell you how many times I've probably said strategy this episode, but
Yeah,
yeah, I do like this track. I like the racing, and I like what these cars produce with it. So I'm gonna give it an 80% as well. I think I grew this beard in like 2 minutes at the Richmond intros. I think I'm gonna keep it. I like it, but Um, I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think since you're tuned in. You can let me know what you think, but uh, maybe the beard should stay for COTA. Should it go away? Let me know. But anyways, we'll do our COTA picks and then we'll wrap up. Who you got?
Um,
Well, I
I
guess
would
based off of the
probably
people who have checked.
also. I just started a poll in the chat for CSB to keep the beard, yes or no, if people want to vote in the live stream chat. Okay. Okay. So, Coda. Um, I don't know. This is tough because Slater won the race, but you could argue that Land should have won the race last season. Um, I'm gonna go with Land because I think that um, GFM and specifically Land is going to be really hungry for a win this week. After being held out of victory lane for the first 3 races of the season, and I think that 20 team is really circling COTA as a race that they know that they can go win, and that they're really going to be aggressive this week. Um, so I would pick the 20 team. I think that Land is going to be driving with his hair on fire.
Um, you stole my pick, first off. So now I feel like I gotta pick somebody else. But I was gonna go with Land, but I feel like my second pick was gonna be either Slater or Aiden. Um, and I see that Jack just checked as well. So that's 8 cars now. And we're just waiting on, I believe, Icy, and I think that's it. Because it's right. Are we waiting on Icy?
Well, Rondo,
And
I
Craig
don't
is
know
won't
if
be
he'll
here.
be there.
Craig is
Yeah,
won't be
so
here. So
Rondo and Craigus and Icy, but Craigus and Rondo probably won't be there, so just Icy, yeah.
yeah, but I feel like Slater Slater will be in contention for sure. Um, I feel like I'm watching him and Aiden, but if I had to pick one, I'm gonna go with Slater. I think Slater's like the safe bet. Um, yeah, he won the race. And I think that you know really has shown that he is fast there and he knows how to get around that place. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of speed that team has this weekend. Um, but yeah, okay. So for us, it's a battle between SSR and GFM this weekend. Um, but we'll have to see. I don't know. And the reason I picked Aiden is because he's coming off of a good run at Richmond, and I feel like the team has consistency. And I feel like if that consistency can, you know, maybe transfer into a win, who knows? It could come at COTA. I feel like anything's possible. If you play your cards right, you definitely can uh, can come out a winner. But
Yeah. I think
um,
Coda will honestly be won by whoever stays out of trouble. Like, don't get involved in any wrecks, don't hit any bumps, don't cut any corners. Like, whoever runs the best race, I think is going to win. Like, whoever just stays out of trouble.
yeah, I agree. Should we do our truck picks too? Maybe.
I mean, we could, but I don't really even know who's all going to be racing in trucks, so it's kind of hard to even predict. I guess we could just go off who has checked so far.
I'm gonna go with
Um,
Land. I feel like that's the safe option. I feel like he's gonna try and go for the sweep this weekend. He might
yeah,
definitely win the truck race. The cup race, he might have a little more competition, but just based off of what I see here, he definitely has a good chance of winning the truck race.
yeah. I guess I would go with Wendigo.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Is there any
You-
reason behind it, or you just think you have a good feeling about them during the race?
Well, I will say this. I used to race in Wendigo's league, RRL, and I swear they did COTA like every other race. Um, so that dude knows his way around COTA. I will say that. So if for anything else, he is very familiar with the track. So that is an advantage for him.
Hmm. Okay, maybe something to watch then. I did notice that the track removed the rumble strips, I think, right?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll have no rumble strips for the race, but whatever. We gotta power through it either way. So, um, yeah. But there is our picks for Coda. Oh man, another great episode from us. Do you have any other thoughts following Richmond or heading into Coda this weekend?
Not really, no. I think after COTA is Homestead, right? So we will be running our money stop cars next week. So
Yeah.
everyone should look forward to that. But otherwise, I do not have anything else to add.
Yeah, definitely keep your eye out on those money stock cars at Homestead. Um, we'll talk more about it next week when we debrief from Coda. But for now, that is going to do it from us. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Another great episode. We will see you after Coda. Have a great race weekend and have a great night. And we'll see you uh, after Coda. Yeah.